Bill Belichick has the third most wins of all time, the most Super Bowl wins as a coach at 8, the most AFC championship appearances at 9, the most Super Bowl appearances at 9, and the second most consecutive winning seasons at 19, and is not a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, that's insane. They're as bad as the baseball writers.
This is worse. That's like the baseball writers not letting Casey Stengel into the Hall of Fame, one of the greatest coaches of all time. They didn't do that. This is so much worse. He has 302 wins, third most all time. Like, it doesn't make sense. They said it's because of Spygate and Deflategate, but Deflategate was complete bullshit. Bill Nye proved that, like, conclusively. He went on the local news in Boston and proved how air pressure changes based on temperature, and that the extreme cold during that game probably caused the balls to deflate. And Spygate was just a thing everyone was doing, but the Patriots just so happened to get caught with it. It's dumb.
Stupid. And they're all using the same ball in the same game.
They didn't use, well, also that they're all coming from the same bag, but they didn't do that to the fucking Bounty Gate people. They literally had a thing where you would get money based on how hard you would hit a player and if you would take them out and injure them. That was a real thing. Nobody got touched for that. Doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, Mike Chappell, he's a longtime Indianapolis Colts reporter.
Boo. Fuck the Colts.
Well, yeah, but he explained that he voted for Robert Kraft and not against Belichick, but still.
Well, one of them left Belichick off of their ballots completely and just gave it to Kraft. Kraft didn't do a fucking thing. He's a billionaire who got money from his billionaire family. He didn't do a single fucking thing. He just hired Bill Belichick and fired Pete Carroll, who's another Hall of Fame head coach. That's all he did. Bill Belichick's the one that put the work in. He was the general manager. He drafted half of these Hall of Fame players. And what's crazy is...
one of the all-time greats.
Yeah.
Really? I mean...
like, he drafted Tom Brady. He drafted Patrick Chung.
Part of the dynasty.
One of the McCourty twins. Yeah. Like, Stephon Gilmore, or they traded for Stephon Gilmore. They got Darrelle Reeves. Like, some of the greatest players over the last 20 years they had on their team. They had Randy Moss, Wes Welker, Julian Edelman, Gronk. So many players that he turned into great players with his coaching style and with the way that they played.
Well, I had nothing to do with the vote, so don't yell at me.
No, it's just dumb. Like,
it's
so
dumb.
stupid.
Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. This seems like a very specific thing to get back at Bill Belichick because of, one, the fact that none of them could actually beat him on the field. Talking to you, Tony Dungy.
Yeah.
And the whole Colts organization, they all fucking suck. They bitched and complained about Deflategate because they lost by 40 fucking points in an AFC championship game. And they said, oh, it was because the balls were deflated that we were all using together. It's fucking ridiculous.
It is. I don't see them keeping him out permanently.
No, it's the same shit that they did to T.O. They kept T.O. out of the Hall of Fame, who should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer, because he was mean to several members of the media who, let's be honest, fucking deserved it because they're annoying with their questions. They asked obviously stupid questions to get obvious reactions from players, and T.O. didn't give a shit and gave candid reactions and was a normal fucking person to dumbass questions.
Yeah,
it's just stupid.
They can temporarily deny him. I don't think they're going to be able to keep him out. The fan outrage is over.
Well, all this does is just, it makes the Hall of Fame lose credibility.
It really does, but yeah, there's no way they're going to keep him out. But just even the thing, Ichiro, we talked about it so many damn times.
Yeah, Ichiro should have been
first ballot Hall, or he was first ballot. He would have been 100%.
He should have been 100%. So should have. Was it Derek
Jeter? Jeter was 96%.
Yeah, because Mo was the only one to ever get 100%, which deservedly so. But there are more people than Mo that deserved it.
There were,
specifically his teammate Derek Jeter, Ichiro Suzuki.
Yeah,
Nolan Ryan. Yeah, literally.
How do you not vote for? Come on,
Randy Johnson,
27-year career. Yeah, Johnson should have been everybody. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Pedro had, during the steroid era, he had, if you look at the advanced metrics, one of the best seasons in baseball history for a pitcher during the steroid era, and then did it
better the next year.
And he was lights out when he came in the game. I mean, well, not when he came in. He started the game.
Looking at the advanced metrics on what he did in 99 and 2000, those are two of the greatest seasons in baseball history. Yeah. It was also at the height of the steroid era. Everyone's doing freaking, I think the average ERA was like 4.5, and he had a 1.8 something ERA.
Well, think about it too. If you needed a must-win playoff game, who are you putting in? Pedro would be at the top of the list. Yeah. I mean, maybe guys like Clemens, because he was awesome too.
But Clemens, that was steroid era, I know. His thing was also like he would either be great or kind of awful.
That's true, and we did just see the clip. I think I posted it. Where,
amazing clip.
Miggy, our guy Miggy, as a Marlin in his 20s,
first as a rookie in his first season,
got brushed back by him, stared down Clemens, and then shortly after, a couple pitches later, hit a home run.
Yep, and then threw the bat all emphatically. That pissed off Clemens, which I just love.
But think about it, Nolan Ryan. I mean, you can't ask for better guys if you were in a must-win situation. But Pedro has got to be at the top of the list.
Yeah, at least top 10.
And then Mo to close it down. But it's just it's so. But anyway, we're talking football. But that's how stupid the writers are. Yeah. And you let bias should never come into it, and that seems like that's what played a role.
It should be just objectively who deserves it.
And if you can't be objective, you should not be allowed to vote.
Yeah, there was a bunch of people, even non-Patriots fans on Twitter, calling for the list to be released of people who didn't vote for him, and they should be stripped of their voting privileges. Which, I agree with. There was 2 people that kept Bill Belichick off of their ballots entirely, didn't even give him a single look, which is just fucking ridiculous. 8 Super Bowls, 2 as a defensive coordinator, 6 as a head coach. The most in NFL history. 9 Super Bowl appearances. 19 consecutive winning seasons. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, that alone, 19 consecutive winning seasons. It doesn't. There's only
second
one
most all time.
That's it. That alone. Even if he didn't win a Super Bowl, come on. I think he should still get in just for that.
Yeah, but on top of that, he did win 6.
He did, yeah.
And then 2 before that. He was considered one of the best defensive-minded coaches before he met Brady, which is the thing. Everyone's like, oh, he only won 6 Super Bowls because of Brady. It's like, that's not true. His defense, led by Lawrence Taylor and the Giants in the 80s, his defensive scheme is the reason the Giants won 2 Super Bowls. They should not have won the second.
Well, yeah, even if you credit Brady with the majority of the victories. I mean, because let's face it, without him, they probably wouldn't have won all of them.
Yeah, they probably would have won maybe one.
Also, without Belichick, without the other part, without Gronk, without
Belichick's
a team
the one drafting all these people.
Yeah, but it's a team effort. The coaching staff is important. They're all important, but you can't be that successful without all the pieces clicking together. I mean, Tigers had great teams, but they couldn't. They either had great hitting, no pitching, or vice versa, or we didn't have good.
The bullpen always sucked.
Bullpen always sucked. Back to the 90s for crying out loud. Good God. Yeah. But back to there's no way they should have snubbed him. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's probably the worst Hall of Fame snub ever. At least the one that I can remember. I don't remember anyone that was worse.
It's getting people talking though, if nothing else. But I think he's
surefire. It's the only thing that united Twitter, which was just awesome.
Exactly. That's funny. But there's no way I think next year for sure he's a lock in, and maybe he'll be 100%. Probably not because they're stupid, but it is what it is. But I think they're not going to keep him out.
The backlash was swift.
Good, and it should be because it's ignorant.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's good enough to get going. You ready to start the show?
Yep.
All right. Welcome, as always, sports fans, to Everything Sports with Bill and Will, and we're happy to be joining you on another cold Michigan afternoon as we're recording on a Sunday.
1 week until Super Bowl.
1 week until Super Bowl, and we got a lot to talk about. Before we get started with the show, do you want to do some trivia?
Yeah. For this week, since it's leading up to the Super Bowl, who are the top 5 youngest quarterbacks to ever start a Super Bowl?
Well, I know one. Can we give him one?
Let's give him one. Let's give him the easy one.
Dan Marino.
Dan Marino, yeah. The greatest player to never win a Super Bowl. Was 23 years and 127 days.
And maybe a hint? Okay, and I know one of the other ones, but we'll say it. No more hints. We already give one for free, Dan Marino. So
yeah, 2 are active, 2 are not.
There you go.
That's the best hint that we can give.
That's good enough. All right.
Might
as well kick it off with some baseball news first, and we'll get into everything else. But
yeah, Dave Roberts told the media yesterday, so Saturday, that Shohei Ohtani will not pitch in the World Baseball Classic, adding that it was Ohtani's decision and that he will still participate, but only as a designated hitter, which that's very good because
they can still use his bat.
Yeah, well, the last time he did it, he pitched in the WBC. His arm was not the same afterwards because he gave it his all. And one of the greatest matchups in WBC history to end the series, Japan versus the U.S., Ohtani versus Mike Trout in one of the greatest at-bats I've ever seen. If you haven't seen it, you should look it up. Ohtani versus Trout in the WBC, and I think 2022 or 2023. Ohtani struck him out. Great at-bat. He's an amazing player. We'll miss to see him pitch, but that is good that he's giving his arm a rest because he pitched way too much this year, as it is.
Yeah, I think probably a good idea.
And they're going for a 3-peat, so they really need his arm, so that's a good thing.
Well, plus, where do you really make the big bucks at?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, getting to the World Series, I don't know what the bonus is now for it, but they need him for next. They need him for next season for sure, and they don't want an injured Ohtani starting the season off. With nagging injuries or even they want him top notch. They want him 100%. Yeah. And I do too. I want to see him have another good season. I don't want the Dodgers to win again, but I do want Ohtani to have a good season.
Yeah, the Dodgers can't win again.
And he could have a great season and still lose. I mean, hell, that was an incredible World Series, I think. It's one of the best I've seen. Last year I thought was pretty good too, but
I really wanted the Blue Jays to win.
Yeah, and just some of the heartbreaking stuff that happened with not the Blue Jays, but the teams getting to the playoffs. That it was the Phillies ended their season, their playoff run on an error. I just feel bad for the pitcher because it's just a split second.
Well, if you watch it in slow-mo, his catcher is pointing towards first base because the runner that hit the ball was not a very fast runner. So if he just calms down, sets his feet, and throws the ball to first, they win. They were tied. They go on to an extra inning, and they get to play some more. But
you only had a split second, too. You only have a split second.
In that split second, he didn't see his catcher pointing towards first. He throws it over his head because the catcher is standing flat-footed. He's not in a position to catch the ball. He's telling him, go to first. He's not even close. And, of course.
Well, they say, too, baseball's a game of inches, but it's also a game of split-second decision-making. And if you hesitate.
Well, because if their catcher is actually in a position and also pointing, then he might have had a chance to catch the ball, but he was just nowhere in a position to make a play.
Yeah.
Because he thought that, this inning's over, he's going to throw it to first, and he didn't. Overthrew the catcher, they lose the game, and the Dodgers win the fucking World Series.
Yeah, it's just a crazy. I thought it was an awesome series. You've got that drama. You've got the 2 18-inning games that I don't think I've ever seen in one playoff.
I don't think it's ever happened in a single playoff where you had multiple games go that long.
We ran down all the stats, but I don't remember. It wasn't. Yeah, but just crazy World Series or playoffs altogether. But yeah. Okay, I think moving on, we have some free agent signings. If you want to run those down.
First, the Giants have agreed to a 2-year deal with outfielder Harrison Bader per Ken Rosenthal. And there's no exact details on the amount yet.
And shortstop Jacob Wilson with the Athletics are in an agreement on a 7-year, $70 million contract extension that includes an 8-year club option per Jeff Passan.
Next, the White Sox have agreed to terms with free agent outfielder Austin Hayes per Jesse Rogers. And lastly, for MLB news, before we go into the NFL, former World Series champ Dave Robertson has finally retired, and he is the last remaining active MLB player that has won a World Series for the New York Yankees, which is fucking crazy. The greatest franchise of all time has not won a World Series in over a decade.
Yep. And his career stats, he was a middle reliever. I think he only started one game in his career, but because he was a middle reliever, he had 2.93 ERA, 179 saves, 68 wins, 46 losses. So, I mean, for a middle guy, that's not bad.
Really good. Really solid reliever during the...
Wish Tigers had him during that time.
Yeah. I wish we had a solid reliever in general. But...
2.9 ERA, too.
Yeah. They had Mo at that time. They had Jabba. Just a crazy bullpen for the Yankees. Also, obviously the greatest closer of all time in Mo.
I don't think Hall of Fame numbers, but
I mean, I don't think any reliever is getting into the Hall of Fame that doesn't
other
primarily close.
Yeah,
I think only closers really get it. I don't know of a single full-time reliever that's gotten into the Hall of Fame, even though he is one of the best relievers of all time. 17 seasons, an ERA under 3. That's pretty fucking good.
Not
and
bad.
A World Series ring.
Yep. Well, stranger things have happened with the Hall of Fame, so you never say never.
Yeah. And we have one more little thing for baseball, which is a pretty big thing. Seattle Mariners right-handed pitcher Logan Evans has undergone Tommy John surgery and will miss the entire 2026 season, per Jeff Passan. Yeah, that sucks. Mariners needed to keep the rotation healthy and not to lose anyone, and that's just an immediate blow to them. And I don't think they made very many moves pitching-wise this offseason, so that really sucks for them.
It sucks for him. I don't care about Seattle, personally.
Well, I don't care about Seattle either, but it sucks for their team. They didn't really make any moves this offseason, so that's going to hurt them a lot. But hopefully it benefits the Tigers in some way, even though they haven't done a single fucking thing.
Well, I still got the big dumper.
Yeah. Should have been MVP.
I'm good either way. He had an impressive season. Let's see what he does in 2026.
If he does
anything close, I think he should get the MVP. But you don't want to give the MVP to somebody if it's just a fluke season and they never get close to 60 again.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, just a crazy season as a catcher in general.
As a catcher, definitely. The part that he's a catcher is impressive, but you can't argue with Judge's stats either. He had a hell of a season.
Yeah.
And he was injured a couple times.
Yeah, well, and that Yankee team kind of sucked.
Yeah. Anyway, well, I think that we don't have much for baseball, but we got some NFL news to move on to.
Yeah, we got a lot of NFL news.
Stafford.
Yeah, starting with a little bit of the championship game, going over some stuff that we missed. Just some little Matthew Stafford news. Stafford has tied Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers for the third most playoff games with 300 or more passing yards at 8.
Good job, Stafford, former Lion. Yeah. And since we're on talking Mr. Stafford, he is the only quarterback in NFL history to throw 370-plus yards, throw 3-plus touchdowns, average 10-plus yards per pass attempt, have 0 turnovers, take no more than 1 sack, and yet still lose, and that would be regular season and or playoffs.
Yeah, he had the exact opposite stat in the divisional game where he played terribly and still won. So it's just kind of crazy that he has literally the best game in Rams history and couldn't freaking win it. Which
it happens.
They led for a total of like a minute and a half in this game. It's just crazy.
And we even have Pope news, kind of, sort of.
The last 3 times a new pope was elected, the Seattle Seahawks made it to the Super Bowl as the number 1 seed. In 2005, Pope Benedict was elected. Seattle went to the Super Bowl 40. Then Pope Francis was elected. In 2013, they went to Super Bowl 48. And then obviously last year, Pope Leo gets elected after Pope Francis passes away. And Seattle makes it to the Super Bowl as the number 1 seed again against the New England Patriots.
Hey, sports fans, if you live in Michigan, then you are no stranger to cold winters and hot summers. And this winter has been especially brutal, with your home taking the brunt of that abusive weather. If your home is not insulated properly, then your wallet feels that pain as well. That's where the team at Ace & Sons Insulation can help. With over 45 years experience, they are the leading experts in all things insulation. From your basement to your attic and your exterior walls, Ace & Sons can help make your house warmer in the winter and cooler in the summer. Ace uses the latest in infrared technology to ensure your house is properly insulated, and they are now teamed with Excel Home Improvement. Excel offers roofing, siding, and gutters, and now insulation, and they have over 60 years in business. So give either team a call for your housing needs. Ace is 888-500-4223, or contact Excel Home Improvement at 734-390-4727. And JSN, I'm not sure if it's right, but Jason Smith in Jinkba.
Sounds right.
Okay. Passes Justin Jefferson for the most receiving yards ever by a player in their age, 23 or younger, in a season, including the playoffs.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Justin Jefferson, one of the greatest wide receivers in the game right now. It's just JSN's going to be a superstar. He already showed that in the championship game, catching the majority of Sam Darnold's passes. And Tom Brady on the broadcast, great examination of what he does. Talking about how good he is as a wide receiver, because most wide receivers, when they make a break, their shoulders move, and that's like a tell to see which way they're going. His shoulders don't move at all, which is what makes him such an elite wide receiver. And Tom Brady was breaking that down on the broadcast, and that was a pretty cool insight. And next, Sam Darnold has become the first player in Seahawks history with 300 or more passing yards, 3 or more passing touchdowns, and no interceptions in a playoff game. He finished with exactly 346 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. One of his greatest games ever in his entire career.
Yep. And speaking of old Sam, he had a 78.3 passer rating over his first 6 years in the NFL, which was 18 to 23. Worst in the league over that span, minimum of 1,200 attempts. No other quarterback in NFL history had the league's worst rating over his first 6 years, and then later started a Super Bowl. So
yeah, crazy.
Good turnaround.
I always hated Sam Darnold, never thought he was that good, and then over the last 2 years has been one of the best quarterbacks.
Became the first.
Yeah. And he became the first quarterback in NFL history with at least 30 games over a 2-season span with multiple teams. The first team was the Vikings in our division, which we ended up beating them in the final game to gain the division over them. And then he moves to Seattle. First year, immediately gets a Super Bowl.
Yeah, and he is 0-4 against the Patriots in his career, and he's been outscored a whopping 123 to 23.
Yeah. First game, 6-24 loss. Next game, 14-28 loss. Then 0-33 loss, which I believe is the Seeing Ghost game, which is a very famous game where he was on the sideline and just said, "I'm seeing ghosts." And it was hilarious. And the final game was a 3-38 loss. And lastly, with just Sam Darnold news, he is the first quarterback since Eli Manning in 2007.
Eli!
The year that the Patriots lost their perfect season to Eli Manning. He is the first since that season to lead the NFL in turnovers and still go to a Super Bowl.
Drake May and Sam Darnold have combined to win 33 games as starting quarterback this season, including regular season and playoffs. That's the most combined wins by the 2 starting quarterbacks entering a Super Bowl in NFL history.
Yeah, crazy. The Patriots have been playing fucking amazing recently. Drake May is the first quarterback to win a road start in a conference championship game before his 24th birthday since Ben Roethlisberger did so in 2005 when they went to the Super Bowl.
And Mike Vrabel is the first person to win a conference championship as a player and win a conference championship as a coach for the same franchise.
And he'll also be the first to do so in the Super Bowl if they can win. And Mike Vrabel has tied George Seifert for the most wins in NFL history by a head coach in their first season with a team, including playoffs, which is 17. He has a chance to break multiple records with a win on Sunday, including that one.
That's right. And 2025 New England Patriots are the only team in NFL history to go 9-0 on the road in a single season. Patriots are also 16-1 in their last 17 games, so they're on fire.
Yeah, they've been amazing. And speaking of the record, in 2023 and 2024, they went 4-13. This year, an exact turnaround, going 14-3 and making the Super Bowl. It's one of the greatest turnarounds in NFL history.
And the Titans are hiring Brian Daboll as their head coach, per Ian Rappaport.
Yeah, former Giants head coach. Titans kind of suck to have for a while. It's probably going to be a good move. But the last little thing we have for the NFL, the Browns are hiring former Ravens offensive coordinator Todd Monken as their new head coach, per Ian Rappaport.
Sounds good. Moving on to the NBA. Do you want to start that or you want me to?
Yeah, I can start it. Cooper Flagg had an absolutely historic game against his former college teammate where he dropped 49 points, which is the most by a teenager in NBA history. He's also the fifth teenager in NBA history to record a 40-point double-double and the only rookie since the 1997-1998 season to enter the fourth quarter with 40 or more points in a single game.
The new Larry Bird?
Yeah.
Maybe. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
And weren't they saying he was...
White boy with a lot of rhythm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he wasn't going to make it. Or wasn't going
Everyone was telling me he was overrated. I had 10 different people tell me he's overrated. He's not that good.
49 points is pretty damn good by a teenager.
Yeah.
Only one game in NBA history has seen two players, teammates, or opponents combine for 80-plus points, 10-plus threes made, 65% field goal shooting, 100% free throw shootings, two or fewer turnovers. That one game was last Thursday between Cooper Flagg and Con Canopol. I think that's close enough. Two rookies under 21 from the same college, which was Duke University. Yeah. So, heck of a game.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest games by two rookies. And speaking of that game, it is now the third game all-time for the most combined points by opposing rookies in a regulation game. Number one is 91 with Tiny Archibald and Pete Maravich from 1971. 85 between Wilt Chamberlain and Johnny Green in 1960. And 83 with Cooper Flagg and Con Canopol on Thursday.
That's right, Bob. And Cooper Flagg.
Name not Bob. Okay. Name not Bob.
Cooper Flagg, 19 years, 41 days, becomes the youngest player in NBA history to notch back-to-back games with 30-point double-doubles.
Yeah, Thursday versus Charlotte, 49 points, 10 rebounds, and then Saturday versus Houston, so yesterday for us, 2 days ago for when we post this, 34 points and 12 rebounds. And he also has 83 points over his last two games, Cooper Flagg does. That is the most points in a two-game span by a teenager in NBA history.
This kid keeps making records and getting close to other records.
But he's overrated. He's so overrated.
Yep. And speaking of Cooper Flagg, he joins Bob Mercado from 1973 and Walt Bellamy from January 1962 as the only rookies in NBA history to reach each of those marks over a two-game span. And if we got the names wrong, I apologize.
Yeah.
Basketball players got some hard names.
Those marks are 83 points, 22 rebounds, and a 61.1% field goal percentage.
Thank you, not Bob.
See. And moving on from Cooper Flagg, another NBA great right now, Luka Doncic has 149 points, 39 rebounds, 40 assists, 17 threes made, 40 free throws made, and 6 steals. No other player in NBA history has reached all of those marks over a 4-game span.
Well, I did that in a 3-game span, but it was not in the NBA. It was with a fake basketball hoop too. It was actually a milk crate with the bottom cut out because that's what we had back in the day.
See?
Nailed to a tree, and it wasn't regulation height. Maybe not. I don't know. But in my defense, there were branches in the way. Just to lift. If you threw it too high, it hit the branch, and sometimes it bounced in. But if you just hit it just right, and I beat your uncle multiple times, and we started betting for money, and he owed me a lot of money. Never paid me, I don't think. But whatever.
Yeah.
Just saying. So I did it too, but it just wasn't NBA. So moving on. Sorry. And moving on, with 46 points, Luka Doncic becomes the 3rd player in NBA history to score 2,000 points in their first 65 games with the franchise. He joins one of the GOATs, Wilt Chamberlain and Walt Bellamy. Awesome job for Luka.
Goated. Moving on, 2-time MVP Giannis is ready for a new home.
Say his last name.
I'm not going to butcher his last name.
I'm not either. Okay, never mind.
I don't know. He is basically demanded a trade. And, hey, Detroit, do your fucking job, please.
Hey, sports fans, if you're in the great state of Michigan and you're in need of roofing, siding, gutters, or insulation, there's only one place to call. And that place is Excel Home Improvement out of Romulus. With over 60 years in business, they are 3rd-generation, family-owned, and veteran-operated. They manufacture their own gutters and trim, so they're able to keep costs low while providing superior quality with unmatched service. They cover all of southeastern Michigan, including as far north as Bay City, all the way down to Monroe, and from Lansing to Port Huron. So give them a call today. That's Excel Home Improvement, 734-941-2800. Okay, yeah, it'd be awesome if they got him. I mean, 2-time MVP, come on. But think about it. We've got, with our team that is already in first place in their area.
I think they might have to give up too much, but if you can have Cade and Giannis in the same lineup and not give up too many people, that's a fucking championship.
It does seem like that, but sometimes you put 2 greats on a team and it just doesn't work.
That is true.
It's happened a lot in baseball. We had Albert Bell and Frank Thomas. It just didn't work out.
The fucking 97 or 96 Red Sox or Indians.
Yeah, they had
one of the greatest teams of all time and didn't do shit.
It's true. Well, they had power. They didn't have. They couldn't beat the Braves.
One of the greatest offenses of all time.
You're right, and they couldn't beat the Braves' outstanding pitching, who had all a Hall of Fame pitching staff, basically. Tom Glavine, John Smoltz, and
the team of the '90s has won their World Series.
Greg Maddux, come on, yeah, finally won a World Series after making it to the playoffs like 1,000 times in a row. It seemed like
losing to the
Yankees.
But
basketball too, you got you put a lot of great players on the same team. Sometimes they clash. Sometimes it just doesn't work.
Yeah,
but you need. But hey, it's fun to talk about. Yeah, let's see if we can get.
Hopefully, if they do it, they don't get rid of all of the other 4 starters to get him. But if they can realistically trade their 3, 4, 5 guys to get him, and then have their 1 and 2, and then add Giannis to that, so they have a great core 3, that'd be perfect. But I honestly don't think they're going to do that. I don't think I can't even remember. I think the Bucks is who Giannis, but I don't think the Bucks will do that. But I hope they do.
Yeah, and in other news, 76ers forward Paul George has been suspended for 25 games for violating the league's anti-drug policy.
Now, I'm going to be very careful with what I say, but he said it was because of mental health. And he took medicine for his mental health. Now, if that's true and it was specifically for mental health, I think there should be an exception.
Well, I'm sure he can appeal it.
He is, but if he's just lying and saying that it was for mental health, which
then
I'm not
he should
saying
be
he
suspended.
did,
yeah.
I think they should suspend him. I think they should double the suspension if it finds out that he's lying and just using that as an excuse.
Well, I mean, don't they all lie, though?
There is no current evidence for that. But even Charles Barkley said that it was fishy.
25 games for basketball, though, when it's an only 80-plus game season is
81 games.
Dude, that's almost a third of the season.
Yeah, but if he's actively using that as an excuse and lying about it, which, again, there's no evidence for it.
Well, the baseball players all lied about steroids, so they all lied.
That was different, but, like, still.
Yeah. 20. Well, I'm okay with 25 games. I know what you're saying, though. I get it, but, yeah, I'm okay either way,
Because even Charles Barkley and all of the people on one of the NBA shows, they were talking about how fishy it is, and if it is something for like anxiety or whatever, there should be an exception because it's not a performance enhancer. A performance enhancer is something that you don't need that you're taking to enhance performance. Something to relieve anxiety, I don't think is a performance enhancer. It's like there was a pitcher who was talking about how he had the yips and that whenever he would throw the ball, he would straight up, because he was so nervous, had so much anxiety, would straight up have a fucking seizure every time he threw the pitch. Like, that's how much anxiety this kid had. Yeah. And he literally...
That's not performance-based. That's just trying to get through the day.
Exactly.
And I agree.
Like, he said that when he would... Because there were so many people screaming and you hear all the fans, the second he would go to do his mechanics and his motion, he would have it all perfect, and then he would black out. And the ball would... When he would regain consciousness, he would look and see where the ball was, and it would be behind the catcher or it would be in the fucking dugout because he spiked the ball and it went way to the right or left or whatever. And it's just kind of annoying. Like, it should not be considered a performance enhancer if that's what it's for.
Yeah, and I guess you got a point. If he did get caught and then he doubled down with a lie, maybe they should double the suspension. I'm okay either way. But
if it's actually for that,
it should
100% have an exception.
Yes,
because it's not a performance enhancer when you need the fucking medication. And that's what Shaq and Charles Barkley were saying. And they also said it does seem kind of fishy. It's either the NBA not allowing him certain medication for anxiety or for these other disorders that could be perceived as a performance enhancer if people who don't need them take them. But if he actually does need it, he should be allowed to take it. I don't know.
100%, I think.
Yeah,
I think so.
I don't know. There's a lot of shit around it.
Yep.
And next, going over the injury report, Nikola Jokic is finally off IR and will face SGA in the Thunder tonight. It was yesterday for everyone watching this.
Should be a good game.
Yeah, it's going to be at 9 tonight, so we don't exactly know. I will put
scores
and stuff on Twitter. I hope the Thunder lose so bad.
You want my psychic prediction?
Sure, let's go.
Well, I'm not psychic, so I can't give you that. But
if you read the next one, that should be a very clear indication of who should win this game.
That is, the Denver Nuggets forward Aaron Gordon will be reevaluated in 4 to 6 weeks with a right hamstring strain.
Yeah, so another Nuggets player, one of the greatest Nuggets player comes back, and then the second best Nuggets player gets injured. So I don't think the Nuggets will beat SGA and the Thunder. Hopefully they do, though, because the Pistons are closing in on the best record in the NBA right now. Houston Rockets center Steve Adams has undergone season-ending surgery on his left ankle. And lastly, with the NBA, we're going to go over the standings. First in the Eastern Conference is our Detroit Pistons.
There you go.
They're at 35-12, 5 games up on the Knicks, who are 30-18. The Celtics are also 30-18. The Raptors are fourth with 29-21, 7.5 games back. And the Cavs are 29-21.
Switching over to the Western Conference, Thunder is on top, 38-11. And the Nuggets are 33-16. The Spurs are 32-16. And Timberwolves are 31-19.
Yep.
And moving on to the NHL, the Hockey League, Patrick Kane has now scored the most points by a U.S.-born player in history, 1,375, which puts him 27th all time. But
yeah, Crazy.
And he's a Red Wing, for those of you that don't know.
Goat. In other hockey news, Red Wings signed Ben Chariot to a 3-year, $3.85 million deal. Pretty good offer. Pretty good AAV for the Red Wings.
And see, you can read my handwriting.
It's so bad.
Well, normally you do the notes. I had put this note. I can read my handwriting just fine. I can clearly see that it's 3-year, $3.8 million. You just got to know how to interpret my handwriting. Your mom can do that. Well, sometimes she can. Actually, my handwriting's so bad sometimes. I just scribble stuff down, and I can't even make it out. I ask your mom, what does this say? And she can do it. So,
wow.
Yeah, so if you don't know my writing and I'm not around, just ask Mom. She'll figure it out.
All right,
but anyway, so
moving over to the standings in the NHL now, starting with the Atlantic Division. The Red Wings are no longer on top. Boo.
Yeah, boo.
The Lightning have usurped them. They're 34-14-4. The Red Wings are second at 32-18-6. They are 5-5 in their last 10, have lost the last 3 games in a row. And then the Montreal Canadiens are 31-17-7. Moving over to the Metropolitan Division, the Hurricanes are on top of that division with a 33-15-6 record. The Pittsburgh Penguins are right behind them at 28-14-11. And the New York Islanders are right behind them at 30-20-5.
Over in the Western Conference, we've got the Avalanche on top with 36-8-9 record. The Wild are behind them, 32-14-10, with the Stars pretty much tied. They're other than point or overtime losses, they're at 32-14-9. The Pacific Division, and I'm sorry, that was in the Central Division. Moving over to the Pacific Division in the Western Conference, we've got Golden Knights are 25-15-14. Oilers are, I'm blind here, 28-20-8. The Kraken are 26-19-9. So that pretty much wraps it up for hockey news for us.
Yep.
I believe. Yep. We just have a little bit of just some fine-tuning things that we need to talk about.
Yeah, just a little bit of tennis news. Carlos Alcaraz, at just 22 years old, has already won the Australian Open, the French Open, the U.S. Open, and Wimbledon, which is just fucking crazy.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah. And the answers to the trivia question that we posed at the beginning are obviously Dan Marino, number 1. We already said that. 2, current Patriots quarterback Drake May, who will be making his Super Bowl debut at 23 years old in 162 days. Ben Roethlisberger was 3rd at 23 years, 340 days. Brock Purdy was 4th at 24 years, 46 days. And David Woodley was 24 years, 97 days. And because we couldn't say it earlier, I will say it now. Quarterback Drake May is now the 3rd quarterback under the age of 24 to make it to a Super Bowl, joining Ben Roethlisberger 2005 and Dan Marino 1984. He'll be the 2nd youngest quarterback to start a Super Bowl and only the 3rd to do so under the age of 24. He's also the first quarterback in NFL history to face 3 top 5 defenses en route to a Super Bowl appearance. That's basically all we got today.
Well, thank you, sports fans, for joining us as always. Feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And we appreciate any feedback you have. And
here's a random clip of the week.
Thank you.